Let's see. And we don't want retouch. We don't need that. But let's turn my chat back on. And seriously, just take a minute to appreciate the cover of this book. It took me a hot minute to find the artist's name in here. You would think it would be like first thing right off the bat, but no, it's in this teeny tiny little writing section right here. Silvio Francesco. And I'm definitely going to be researching this guy a little bit because seriously, this art is phenomenal. I am so excited to be getting into this book. I have a feeling we're going to end up doing every single page at some point or another because just all of them are really phenomenal artwork. And we're going to have some fun with this. I have not decided what I'm going to actually do today, but I did want to take a minute and let everybody actually see it because this person has some incredible talent. I may have another artist to look out for their work, which is good. You don't want to just have one. That's no fun. But the details are really exceptional. And I am very excited to be doing these guys. And I will definitely be researching this guy a bit more. This is my first bit of his work, so hopefully he has more books out there because this stuff is amazing. And we know I love a good fantasy book. But the attention to detail and just the incredible skill level that this guy has. We're going to have a lot of fun. Hello, CC. How we doing today? And as I said, I have not decided on which page we're actually going to color yet. But I don't think we're at a loss for specific content. So this is actually a new coloring book that I just bought. And I wish I could claim the art, but the artist's name is Silvio Francesco. I just got this guy. This book. So I'm just kind of taking a peek through it with you real quick before I actually start coloring anything. But I can definitely appreciate the drama in all of these pictures. There are dozens of dragons in here. I wish I had stuff to do like this guy, because seriously, some cover art right there. But I think there was actually a dragon picture that I was pretty happy to do early on. There's quite a few. There was one back here, though, that... What is your question? Let's see. I think we're going to just do the rare thing and start right in... You know what? Let's just start right with the first picture. Because that's definitely got some skill. So it's not what is speaking to me. I think more this one. I can't draw, but as far as coloring dragons, there's not one dragon to choose from. There are Literally dozens throughout. That one's incredible. But I was kind of thinking this one was a maybe. So I think this guy might be a really good starting point. As I said, I will definitely be doing some more research into this particular artist because I want more of his work. This is incredible talent. And that is something that I respect the heck out of. I know I didn't start right on the dragon. That's because I'm kind of debating what color scheme I want to go with for him. But we'll start in the leaves, on some of the surround, and then we'll decide on his specifics. But I am so excited to have this book. And I actually have another new book that should be coming in tomorrow with my, from the Selena Finnage works that I like so much. And I think between the two, I should have some really good new things to do. I may have to hop up for just a second here, though, because I can hear one of my chinchillas. He likes to push his wheel all the way up against the side of his cage. And it sounds like he's trying to use the wheel to cut through the cage. So I may have to go fix that really quick. But that won't take me but a second. So I will be right back. He does that about 2 to 3 times a week. He'll push his wheel as far over as he can get it. Having weird pets comes with weird problems. And the screeching of wheel of metal on metal tearing through the entire house is one of those problems. Oh, thank you, thank you. I will never complain about some hype. And I think I am going to take your suggestion on the red, but we're going to do it a little different. Because he doesn't need to be just plain red. So if you actually look on my page, I have a dragon that sits in front of my house. And he is red and black. I'm going to try and kind of create that look on this guy. I'm not going to promise anything because paints and pencils are two very different things. And the painting tricks I use to get the effects I have out there are not something you can do with colored pencils. But we're going to try. I do wish I had the ability to add the gold sheen that my guy out there has, but I may pull one of these pages one of these days and hit it with my paints and see what I can do that way. I think that would actually be a lot of fun. So what I'm thinking And I'm going to use this little section to kind of test run. Yes, I am coloring quite softly. Where did my gray go? I just had it in my hand. Don't know why I put it back. We're not going to go actually black with it. Just a deep gray to kind of come in and create that shadowing a little bit. And I have a feeling this is either going to be a very long live for me, or we may end up having to do this in sections, because this is not going to be as short and quick like some of them that I do. But this is actually going to give that level of detail I think that I do want. Yes, that is going to do what I want it to do, which makes me happy. So it's going to be a slow process, but we'll get there. And what was your idea? I am never against a good idea. I think I'm going to come back over these a little bit and brighten them up just a bit. I think I grabbed the wrong red the first time. This one's a little bit stronger. There we go. Sometimes I'll do the blue eyes. Sometimes I'll do green. I really love the way, like, I really like hard green, like this kind of color pops against the red and black. But we'll get there. We haven't decided on anything for sure yet. I do have some really good icy blues that could be used as well. I have a love of dragons. I actually have a few dragons around my property. This one's kind of imitating my big guy that my amazing partner actually got me for my birthday a couple of years ago. Might have been for Christmas, I don't remember. But I am the weird person that buying me a unpainted statue is like the best thing ever. I cannot draw. I can color and I can paint, but I cannot draw. I wish I could. I am very good at taking other people's drawings and adding to them in unique and creative ways. That's all right. Oh, I am absolutely weird. I own that. Babies, what are we yelling about? Please pardon the complaints being lodged by my birds. They are upset with me because I did actually work all 3 days this weekend. And then I actually had to leave the house this morning to go run some errands. I don't know why that got so light looking. Hello, Rachel. How are you today? I don't tend to change focus onto my pets in my lives just because I have to get up and walk all over my house. But if you explore my shorts and occasionally my long forms, I do a lot of content on my pets. I have a very, very full house of animals. Excuse me for 1 second. Babies, chill butts. What are we yelling about? You're fine. I could probably do an entire day, like a good long live of just pets, because I do have 2 green-cheek conures, which are teeny tiny little parrots, which is who you just heard me talking to. I have 3 chinchillas. I have a bearded dragon. I have more cats than I know what to do with because they're just showing up. You are more than welcome for that. Hello, Andres. I will definitely tell somebody they cannot subscribe to my channel. I'm not that person. But you are always welcome. As long as you're nice, we're good. All right. And if you guys are just popping in, this is a brand new book that I just bought. I am not doing well with memorizing today, so let me peek back. And the artist's name is Silvio Francesco, and this is probably the prettiest covered book I've ever seen. I don't know if you see the thumbnail or not, but I will pop it back up here in a second. How are you doing today, Rachel? I love a good coloring book, but when a coloring book actually, like, comes out with the sparkle right off the bat, it's gonna grab my attention. Makes me happy. And then I have another one coming in tomorrow, where this one is more like just regular fantasy creatures. The one I have coming in tomorrow is mermaids. I don't stress over who's in the room, Rachel. Simply put, if I worried too much, I would just watch that number instead of what I'm doing. I've seen it go from 20 to 2 in seconds and back up, so I just don't stress over it. There's too many other things to focus on. There we go. About the only thing I pay attention to is when people are actually talking in chat. I do try to glance over and at least talk to the people who are in the room talking to me. I am human. I do miss things on occasion, but I usually catch it within a reasonable amount of time. There we go. And I found it's easier to do a few scales and then come back over it with the gray than it is to try and do each one individually. It just adds that little bit of extra to him. I say him, it could be a her. I don't know how to gender a actual dragons. I know how to do a bearded dragon, but that doesn't really help in this scenario. And that is not going to work. There we go. I have not decided what we're going to do with the hair type stuff yet. Right now we're just focusing on this kind of belly scale area. And I did that because it makes it a much easier way to kind of test if my theory was going to work or not. My birds are talking to me. They are upset that I am not paying attention to them right at this moment. They're usually a little bit fussy on Mondays when I actually work my whole weekend instead of a 1 or 2 day weekend. And then I had the audacity to walk out the door this morning and go running some errands, and they're just not too happy with me right now. I am going to have to sharpen this soon. I have a feeling this is going to be a lot longer than my 30 to 40 minutes today. Which is okay. I don't have really anything on the calendar for today, so just soften that up a little. Probably going to have to sharpen this guy before too long, too. But we're making progress. We're getting it where we want it to be. I'm very happy to be well into the big new year now. The end of 25 was not nice to me, so we're hoping 26 will be. Oh, okay. I see. Okay. Sorry, I had a moment there. We kind of turn here. And the belly kind of keeps going this way. And then we go into kind of this almost spiny looking thing here. I have not decided what to do with that yet, so we'll finish this part first. There we go. And this is one of those, doesn't have to be perfect. We're more creating shadow than trying to outline perfectly. Which the way I did this on my statue outside was actually taking watered down black paint and rubbing it over top of the already red painted, and then wiping it off the main part to where it just seeped into the cracks and bends, but that doesn't work as well on paper. It's a shame, really, because it would make my life so much easier if it did. But that's okay. We're not going to complain too hard. It is always a challenge to try and recreate something in a different medium than what you've done it in before, and see about trying to give the same basic effect. Hello, baby cake. How you doing today? Try not to spill my coffee on my picture. I'm doing pretty good. I got a brand new coloring book and I'm very excited about it, so life is pretty good right about now. If only that sentiment could hold all the time. If a brand new coloring book could fix all of the cares in the world, that would be awesome, but for now, they're just, it's enough to make me happy, so. And I am trying to recreate something I did painting a statue that's in my yard. That's proving effective, but slightly challenging. I can color very, very well. I cannot draw. I wish I could. I really, really do. But I'm pretty happy with my coloring skills. And I think I need a darker. That is brown. That is blue. That is black and it is broken. Of course. Gonna have a hard time coloring with that, aren't we? I do a lot more painting than I do usually coloring, but we're in the middle of winter. My cats have taken over my workshop, so I'm doing more coloring than painting right now. I've also apparently misplaced my pencil sharpener, which is slightly problematic. I need that. There it is. Comes in handy. I need to get a new one, but I actually kind of want to get a good color sharpener, but this one will work for now. I'm fairly certain this one came with an eyeliner at some point. So we're not doing a ton of black. I used the gray in place of the black on the scales, but we need at least a little bit just here and there. Just to kind of darken a few things up before I go over it with the red. Because the red will soften it a little bit. It's kind of neat how they created an ear. Almost. And I'm going to try. Just kind of creating that similar shadow, but I'm hoping when I go over it with the red, it's going to kind of push the little bits of black and create that shadowing without me having to go in and do it individually. I am just trying things and seeing what sticks, so I'm not making any promises that it's actually going to work. but you never know until you try. I think I am going to use a slightly different red for this part, and I need that sharpened. Of course I do. That would be too easy if I didn't. I've hit the 30-minute mark, and I am not even close to finished, so I have no idea how long this guy's going to go today. There we go. I felt like his underside would be a little bit brighter. But this up under here, or this out here would be a little bit darker, a little bit more. And I think I know what I'm going to do. Because I kind of want to give him a shimmer. My birds are trying pitiful to get my attention now. I think we may go over it with a metallic. Just to kind of create that little bit of shimmer. I've had that work on a few things. And unfortunately, the coloring over the black did not do literally anything. But that's okay. I think. And this is more just to kind of tie it in a little bit and fill in any odd spots. And it also softens that shadowing in just a little bit harder. That's better. I like the darker belly compared to everything else. I think we might come in with a different shade of red for all of this stuff here. I'm a huge fan of using different shades for different things. Go around our little plant here. Kind of a neat little bit of addition there. I just want to darken him up just a little bit. So I wasn't quite pushing hard enough the first time. There we go. Now we're getting a little bit more where I wanted him to be. We're definitely making progress. It's a slow progress, but it's progress. I don't know how long this one's actually going to end up running, but we will see. Okay, the black did work in the ear, so that's at least something, right? And I think I'm going to have a little bit of fun here. I'm going to go very, very light with my red. Just almost a suggestion. But trust the process. We're going to have more coming in. There we go. We're going to take my trusty dusty gray again. And we're going to sharpen it up a little bit. Because I feel like there should be some kind of contrast in these areas that aren't showing the scales quite the same. I don't want it so dark that it loses detail, but I want it that kind of grayish. And that little bit of red we laid down underneath them just keeps that red tone. There we go. Okay, I actually really like the way that turned out. And I think I am going to use that oddball green of mine. And we're going to do and we're going to put it over top of that, but I want that middle piece just dark, not black, but just dark. There we go. That lets that color kind of pop without being too, oh my goodness, in your face. There we go. That's better. Well, shoot. I missed a whole bunch of him, didn't I? I got distracted and oops, that's not the color I needed. Let's come up under here. Oh, excuse me. We're making some progress. She's not completely uncolored anymore. Is that dragon or background right there? It's always a good question, isn't it? Now I'm more glad that I did the difference in the snout, because it wouldn't be very fun if it just completely blended in with itself. Now would it? Here we go. Let's come in on this area back here. Hello, how you doing today? What exactly are we welling about, though? Oh, okay. I, oh, yep, yes you are. Sorry, it's been a day. We're making progress. I feel like this stuff is background. We're not going to color that. Now, I just have to find what I want. Which, in this mess of colored pencils, is not always the easiest trick. There it is. Yes, I did my green eye. That's just one of those things that I tend to do. Let's give him a little bit of just the slightest hint of a shimmer and add a little bit of interest to him here. I debated on what color to use for the metallic, but I think the copper is going to be the way to go, since it's got that little bit of a reddish hue to it. If I really wanted to be ridiculous, I could grab my gel pens, but I feel like that would be best for the entire picture in this case. There we go. As far as the goal of this channel, well, I started it because I do a lot of yard art restorations, and then people got interested in my pets, and then winter is not the best time to be working on yard art, so I started doing coloring lives as a way to have something to do all winter long, because the main focus really just does not do as well this time of year. But basically, the whole point of my channel is I post what I feel like posting. I'm not monetized or anything like that, so it's just me having fun for the most part. And I am not fighting with that. So, if you were wondering, my copper pencil just broke again. And I don't want to fight with it, so. It does it periodically. This one has done it more times than I care to deal with. It's just my only copper pencil, so. There's always at least one. It would not be one of my lives if I didn't have a pencil break in the middle of my life. That is how it happens for me. And I have accepted my fate. One of these days, once they're all broken, I'm just going to buy a new set. But right now, I'm okay with it. It makes for a good comic relief when I'm focused a little too hard. And I am doing these a little differently than I did everything else. Just simply different ways of laying the pencil creates different tones, which a completely monochromatic dragon would be very boring in my eyes. So we gotta give him some different colors. I have hit the 45-minute mark. Is this going to be the time that I break my hour? I have never actually ended up going for an hour. I've come very, very close, but never hit the full hour. So if it happens, it'll be kind of interesting. My voice is getting annoyed with me. It's starting to cut in and out on me. So that's always fun. Well, and my hand that doesn't want to turn the way I want it to are not cooperating there. There we go. In my defense, I do have nerve damage in my arm, and sometimes it just doesn't do what I want it to do. At least I haven't thrown a pencil today, right? That is another thing that does occasionally happen. My hand will just let go and the pencil goes flying. Usually I get a good laugh out of it more than anything. There we go. And I think I finally got the dragon part done. Now I just gotta get all of the stuff around him done. Which I'm gonna just shock everybody so much. And I'm picking up my blue. Because it always just absolutely boggles everybody that I would want to include some blue in my coloring pages, right? We're not going crazy with it today, but it's there. It's got to be there at least a little bit. I think. Just the little pops of blue here and there, I think, add a lot. I am actually going to do this little area here. Because I couldn't decide if it was background or dragon, so we're deciding it's background. There we go. Now, I think we're going to come in with a soft orange for these. Because they could be feathers, flames, or leaves. Hello, Lori. How we doing today? You got to see the cover of this coloring book. I absolutely couldn't say no to this. I had to have this. I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. I found myself a new artist to check out, so I am happy. And this guy's name was, I will memorize it eventually. Silvio Francesco is who did the artwork in this one. I think more books should tell who the artist is, I swear. It's no fun when you have no idea who they are, so you can't look up the rest of their work. Though I have the bad luck of a lot of times I end up with the weird AI books that have the occasional really, really wonky page. I've never heard of him either, but he does beautiful work. Like, really stunning, unique pages. I love this one, but I am not going to be able to do it without making him look like The Witcher, because that's what it makes me think of. And There are worse things, right? Hi, Mark. How we doing today? I'm doing pretty good. I am excited about the fact that I have a whole new book. And I actually have another new book coming in tomorrow. Another one of my Selena Fenech books. Um, so, starting out the new year with, excuse me, new color, new pages to color always makes me happy. That was kind of out of nowhere, wasn't it? I'm just kind of trying to tie up these last few bits and bobs here. But thank you. I am definitely thrilled with the artwork in this new book. And I know the book coming in tomorrow, that's Selena Fenech. That's who I've been coloring more often than not for a while. So I know her work is good. So until the weather decides that I can get outside or in my workshop on a regular basis, I will have things to do. But I did finally finish this guy, and I did come up shy of my hour one more time. I have a feeling at least one of the pages in this book is going to hit me on an hour. But this guy, we're going to call it a day. And we'll be back in tomorrow either with another one of these guys, or if my new book comes in time, we'll be doing one of the mermaids. But until then, I'll talk to you guys next time.